Alrighty, how is it going, gents, ladies, and everyone in between? It is Rub here, and we are here finally after about, you know, 6 months. We're back for another video. Now, since, this is a new start, I'm thinking, for me and the channel, we gotta do a little bit of the rebranding. We got Rub. I'm no longer Lil, I'm grown. We got a dope new profile picture, we loving it. We loving it. I may or may not have already made this video and forgot that, my microphone was muted. But that's alright, because what we're doing, boom, favorite Pokemon. Each generation, each typing. Now, I'm not gonna lie, since I did start making this, I got to just starting Gen 3 and we were about 18 minutes into it. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna do 3 generations each video. We're going to split it up into 3 separate videos, and then we are going to do the same thing for the shiny version of each, because the shinies are definitely going to change my favorite overall. So we will go and start with the each ones. We're gonna do Gen 1 through Gen 3 this time. We're starting with Gen 1. We have, it's gonna be the same for each though. Every single one has each different typing. You then get to choose your favorite starter, your favorite gimmick form, favorite legendary, and then your favorite overall. Alright, you following? Okay, cool. Let's start then. Gen 1, normal. There are some very good picks here, not gonna lie. Like Ditto is adorable. However, I will say I prefer the shiny version of Ditto rather than normal. I love me a Chansey, but also same thing. I prefer the shiny version of Chansey. Pidgeot is goated. I love Pidgeot. I love the Route 1 birds in almost every single game. However, as far as normal types go, Snorlax holds a place in my heart. Just every game that I played where you have to go, you have to get a flu, you have to wake him up, all of it, it warms me up with just utter joy. I love that so much. And honestly, I've used him on quite a few teams, and he's pretty decent overall, and at least normal playthrough. Fire. So, the overwhelming consensus that I think most people have about Generation 1 is their favorite starter is usually Charizard. Now, I will say that I think Gen 1 has the most well-rounded trio of starters. That may be a hot take, I'm not so sure. But I love all 3 of them, and I have used all 3 of them almost equally. Rather than other generations, there's always the one that's the outlier for me. Like Gen 2, there's an outlier. Gen 3, they're pretty equal, but there's one I've used just slightly less, but that doesn't mean I necessarily dislike them. 4, there's an outlier, solely because I also haven't used them. Gen 5, there's definitely an outlier. Gen 6, there's definitely an outlier. 7, I actually have used all 3 of them pretty okay, but one's a little less. Gen 8, I actually like all 3 of Gen 8. Eat me. And honestly, Gen 9, I've used one more than the rest, but I have used the other 2 here and there. But I'm going to save Charizard because honestly my favorite fire-type Pokemon in Gen 1 is Arcanine. His pure speed, the attack that he can do on top of the... well, just the pure speed and attack. The extreme speed attack that you can use. I love Arcanine. Plus just the look of him is just, yes. Water type. Now, once again, there are a very good amount of water type Pokemon that you can be using. There's Poliwrath. There is Poliwrath. Like I said, there is Blastoise. Even Tentacool is pretty cool. Kingler's alright. Cloyster is pretty cool. Kabutops. But honestly, my personal favorite is Gyarados. Now, I know that might be based. I don't care. Gyarados is great. Mega Evolution's cool. He's a powerhouse just by himself. He's almost a staple in any game that you can play. You use a Gyarados and you're doing yourself a good thing. It's fantastic. Grass. Honestly, not gonna lie, it's Venusaur. And don't get me wrong, some of the ones are cool. Victory Bell, Vileplume, that's fine. But Venusaur is just awesome. Grass poison typing is just, it is one of the best typing combos I think you probably can have. Not to mention, and I don't think it's a hot take, this is just a consensus, he is the best starter to use for any Generation 1 games. Heard it here first, folks. Just saying. Electric. I have to say, my favorite one is Jolteon. There's a reason that every single playthrough that I have of Pokemon where I have Jolteon, I name him the Flash. He's so fast, he's a powerhouse. Although he might be a slight glass cannon, but he just, the amount of damage he puts out and how fast kind of negates that in most regards. And I will say, I'm not doing the legendaries until legendary column. I'm not having legendaries or the mythics for that matter. Well, okay, let me rephrase. I might put the mythics in there if I like the option better. But legendaries are staying in the legendary column. Just get that out of the way. Ice type. Honestly, my favorite ice type is probably Lapras. Getting gifted, the one in the one game, honestly, I cannot remember. But getting gifted the Lapras is just yes, yes, yes. Cloyster is a very close second. I thoroughly enjoy Cloyster. Now, I do have a gripe to pick with some of these people in this world. If your favorite ice type, or favorite Pokemon for that matter, is Jinx, we can never be friends. How do you look at that thing and say yes? That is exactly what I love most about Pokemon. You're insane, respectively, but you're insane. Fighting. Honestly, every single one of these picks, I respect you for it. Whether it is just Mankey, because Mankey is adorable. Primeape, slightly underrated if you ask me. But what do I know? Poliwrath, water fighting is a fantastic typing. Machoke, and Machamp. Come on. Perfect. Hitmonlee and Hitmonchan, they're great. I think my personal favorite, though, is the Forearms himself. Machamp. Now, that might have to be because my favorite Ben 10 alien from the original series is Forearms. If you know, you know. But, I digress. Now, Poison. Poison gets a little tricky for me because there are many, many, many very good Poison type Pokemon. And I had a little hard time deciding which one I wanted to do. I ultimately did decide on one. I did go through and choose which ones I like here and there for all of them. But overall, Nidoking. Nidoking is a powerhouse, right? If you ever play Fire Red, you know Nidoking. You have him. You win. It's no ifs, ands, or buts. There's only one other Pokemon on this list that I would choose over Nidoking. However, I already have them in a different spot on my listing, so it's okay. It's one of those things. Okay. Also, why I chose Nidoking for Poison instead of Ground is because Ground, it's Golem. I feel like Golem is one of those so notorious Pokemon that I just love so dearly to my heart. Flying. We're going to what I was talking about earlier with the normal type, Root 1 Bird. Pidgeot, baby. Come on. How can you not love Pidgeot? Now, there are one other-ish Pokemon on this list that I would be choosing over it. However, I have them in a different area, so that's fine. Pidgeot, I love the Root 1 birds. Like I said, almost all of them have a decent use. And, a lot of them are normal flying, but Pidgeot just does it the best. Honestly, he does it the best. Psychic. I'm a little torn between two of them. Honestly, I could go either way between Starmie, or Alakazam. I'm going to choose Alakazam just because I have so many fond memories trading a Cadaver over to my friend on our 3DSs, evolving into Alakazam, then just wrecking house, giving him the Twisted Spoon Hell item. It's just so many fond memories. Bug. Honestly, I respect you for every single one of these decisions. I can understand it. The one I'm a little okay is the Venonat and Venomoth. But besides that, you're good in my book. But my personal favorite is definitely Scyther. 1000% Scyther is my favorite. Rock type is slightly an issue for me because here and there I'm not sure exactly which one to choose. Rhyhorn and Rhydon are fantastic. I think I prefer Rhyperior, but I think I'm going to pick Aerodactyl, honestly. I love the fossil. I love a good fossil, and Aerodactyl is it, right? Ghost. Gengar all the way, not just because it's my only choice. Gengar is the only one that I would have picked over Nidoking for poison. I love Gengar with my whole being. If I can have him on a team, you better believe I'm using him. Dragon type, Dragonite. He's just a fantastic Pokemon. I feel like enough said. Dark is funny enough because there's no Dark type, so we're not picking it. Steel, Magneton. Magneton doesn't get enough raps. It's mainly Magnezone, I do think, but Magneton is goated. Fairy. Now, Fairy type wasn't around in Generation 1. It came out in Generation 6, but they did change the typing, and for me, it is Clefable. He's a powerhouse. He's adorable for me. Eat me. Now, this is where I'm 100% choosing Charizard. Charizard is my favorite starter. Not of all time, but 1000% of Generation 1. I stand by that. Now, gimmick forms. All of these are cool, in my opinion. I'm not going to lie. I loved getting a shiny Machamp, Gigantamaxing him in Generation 8 and naming him the Hulk. Like, that is cool to me. However, my personal favorite of the bunch is Mega Charizard X. You can't look at that and tell me that is not hard. Now we have Legends. Now, honestly, all of these are fantastic choices, in my opinion. I have used them all at some way, shape, or form in some time. I'm torn between Mewtwo and Mew. However, I'm not going to lie. I think I prefer Mew. Solely because it's A, cuter to me. Eat me. Guys can like things that are cute as well. It learns every move. It can be pretty bulky if you want it to be bulky. It can be fast. It can be a glass cannon. It's fine. It's just, I love Mew. And the best part is my favorite one out of the bunch. It's Gengar. 100% tenfold. There's a reason every single playthrough I have of Gengar, using him, I name him Purple Booty. 1000%. I don't care. It's the truth. I love Gengar. Now, Generation 2. A lot of these are pretty buns. I'm not gonna lie. I would choose Blissey, right? I would choose Blissey. However, I prefer Chansey. Ursaring is cool, but I like Ursaluna better. Miltank is buns, right? I just hate that thing so much. I'm picking Porygon 2. I love the Porygon line. I love Porygon Z the most. Not gonna lie, but it's fantastic. Porygon 2 with an Eevee, like, dude, like, yes. Fire type. Honestly, the best one of this bunch, it's Typhlosion. I feel like that's enough said. Water, it's kind of the same thing. Feraligatr, every day of the week. Feraligatr is my favorite starter from Generation 2. I'm just going to go ahead and do that right now. I do bounce between. When I was a kid, it was 100% Typhlosion. However, as I've grown older, Feraligatr is a soft place in my heart. Grass. They all suck, except Celebi. They all suck. Enough said. I don't care what people say. They all suck. Blossom is pretty alright. Buns. If I have to pick, I'm picking Bayleaf. Because it's the only cool part of the creative line. I will die on the hill. Time for electric. It's Ampharos. I love Ampharos. I will use Ampharos on every single team that I possibly can. He's bulky. He could do a lot of damage. He's stupid looking, and that's exactly what I want my Pokemon. Ice type. I'm picking Piloswine. I love Piloswine. Look at this thing. He's a beefcake. He can deal out damage. Icicle Shard. Come on. Fantastic. Fighting. It's Heracross. What do you mean? Heracross is a beast. I remember my first playthrough of Heart Gold. I used a Heracross on my team. I grinded that tree. I got them to fall down, and I used it to whip everyone's butt. It was lovely. Poison. It's Crobat. Every single day. Crobat is one of my favorite final evolutions of all time. I don't know what it is about him. I think I like because he's just fast. He does damage. I believe it's whatever his poison chop attack is just yes. Ground. I'm picking Steelix. I prefer Steelix over anything else. Any of the week. Over Onyx? 100%. Steelix. Steelix is fantastic. Flying type. It's one of those things. I'm okay with anyone's choice. In all honesty, I can understand it. I can't pick the legendaries. I don't know about Skarmory. I'm not double downing. I'm trying to keep one Pokemon per typing. So I'm probably gonna go Gligar. If I'm being entirely honest, I'm probably going to go Gligar, and that is okay. There's nothing wrong with that. Okay. Psychic. Espeon. End of the week. Next question. I love Gen 2's evolutions. They might be my favorite out of the bunch. I'm not gonna lie. Plus shiny Espeon, green. Come on, bug. This might be a tough spot for some people. It's Shuckle. I don't like. The only way I could say it is if you know, you know. Shuckle is fantastic. Look at him. He's dumb looking. His shiny's cool because he's blue. Like yeah, Shuckle. Rock. It's Tyranitar. Hey, come on. I feel like I don't gotta say anything. It's Tyranitar. Ghost. Believe that is Misdreavus, because Miss Magius is Gen 4. Whatever, it's cool. I have to pick it. Dragon, same thing. Kingdra. I like Kingdra. I never use Kingdra that much. But he's there. And I'm okay with it. Dark. I'm picking Umbreon. I like how bulky Umbreon can get. And he still deals out damage. Plus, shiny Umbreon instead of the gold rings is blue is cool as hell. But, it's one of those things. Steel. This is why we changed it up and did stuff differently. It's Scizor. I feel like it's one of those things, once again, enough said. Scizor is awesome. I feel like most people like Scizor. Fairy. This is where I'm going to probably choose a Zoomerl. It's a powerhouse. Water Fairy type is great. I have fond memories using it to beat the Dragon Terra Charizard Max Raid battle in Generation 9. It's just cool. Gimmick form. Out of these, though, it's probably Tyranitar, solely because he looks the coolest. I haven't really used that much of them. And the Gen 2 Legend, the dogs are cool. Right? They're cool. But Ho-Oh has a special place in my heart. I played Heart Gold first. Ho-Oh is one of the things. However, I can go either way between Ho-Oh and Lugia, I will say. But out of these bunch, my personal favorite out of Gen 2, honestly, is Shuckle. It's one of the things with like Gengar. I feel like people can understand Gengar. Shuckle, he holds such a near and dear place in my heart. I can't. I don't know what to say besides it's just the case. Now, we're into Gen 3. After we finish Gen 3, this will be starting to heat up, honestly. We're starting probably to heat up with Gen 3. Normal Gen 3 Pokemon. Honestly, I'm picking Slaking. I don't care what people say, okay? I really don't. I'm 100% taking Slaking over Vigoroth because Slaking, even with the loafing around, his bulkiness, even being just a pure normal type, and the damage that he deals, it's just, oh my god, broken. Vigoroth is cool, don't get me wrong, but something about that extra boof you get. Fire type. I'm kind of here or there for all of these. I'm gonna pick Blaziken just because I do mess with. It's one of my favorite variations of the fire flighting. That is, trust me, overdone, but it is one of my favorites. Water. It's another one of those things. There's some cool ones in here. There's some not very cool ones. I'm gonna come back to it because I want to see about a different typing. Grass. Alright. Grass is the same instance where I'm going to wait, come back real quick, because there's one of these that I might use slightly different. Electric. I don't care about any of these, but if I have to pick one, I'm picking Manectric, just because he's pretty decent. I've used him on a few Gen 3 playthroughs. I have him on my last Emerald team that I played. It's just worth it. Ice. Honestly, Glalie is cool. He's cool. I haven't used him a lot, but he does look cool, and he's done the job. Alright. So, fighting, this is where I'm picking Braylon. I was thinking about maybe doing Braylon for grass, but Braylon for fighting is definitely where it's at. I love Braylon so much. The Spore that you can use, where it's just perfect. An instant paralysis or an instant sleep. Then you can use False Swipe too. It's just great. So we're going to go back here for grass. I'm picking Grovyle. Now, don't get me wrong, okay? I love Sceptile. Sceptile is probably my least favorite of Generation 3 starters. However, not that he's bad, it's just I haven't used him as much as the other ones. So don't get it twisted, Sceptile is still cool as hell. However, I think I prefer the Grovyle evolution so much, just something about that is just yes. It's just what it is. Poison type. I'm gonna do Roserade. Okay, I'm gonna do Roserade. I haven't used them. You use Roser, or is that Roselia? I think that's Roselia. I haven't used it that often. However, when I have used it, it's just it is what it is. Ground. Okay. This is where we get a little. I'm not sure. I'm gonna pick Flygon though. Flygon, I love Flygon. I don't know what I can say. I have a shiny one that I'll whip out once in a while, and he's just good. Water is what I'm gonna do. Swampert. I know it is what it is. Swampert is my personal favorite starter from Gen 3, so we're gonna go over to starter and do right then and there for you folks. Swampert. Water ground is such a good typing. I can't even I can't preface it enough. It's just Swampert is so cool. Now we have flying. This is where I run into a little bit of an issue. So I'm talking about the Route 1 birds and all that. I go Swellow right there. But like Ninjask is right there as well. Ninjask is pretty cool. I am going to go Swellow. I'm going to go Swellow though. Psychic. We're in for a treat with Psychic. So here's the thing. Gardevoir ends up becoming Fairy type, so I'm pretty sure I'm going to choose Gardevoir for Fairy type. Same thing with, we have Metagross. Metagross is Psychic Steel, but I'm probably going to end up choosing it for Steel as well. I'm going to wait shortly. We got Bug. Bug, easy peasy lemon squeezy. We'll choose Ninjask. Perfectly okay with that. We got Rock. I'm going to choose Aggron. I love a good Rock Steel. I believe that's Rock Steel. Aggron is cool. Ghost type is where I'm going to choose Shedinja. If you know, you know. Okay, if you know, you know. Dragon is Salamence. The amount of sweepers that you can do with Salamence is just perfect. I can't preface that enough. It is beautiful, and it does so well. Dark. Honestly, I don't care about any of these. However, I have to pick one. It's probably going to be Sableye just because I think he looks cool. And I have seen him be incredibly annoying. Steel. Steel, we are going to choose Metagross. 100%. I love Metagross with a burning passion. He's bulky, does all damage. He's just perfect. Fairy, I'm choosing Gardevoir. I love Gardevoir. I have him on... I have her, sorry, on my last team that I did for Emerald as well. So let's go back to Psychic. I'm probably going to choose... You know what? For jokes and giggles, question mark unknown. It's just funny. And yeah, I'm questioning it as well, but we're going to do that. My favorite gimmick form, though. They got some pretty bomb gimmick forms. I'm not going to lie. Like, you can even do the Darkness Lugia from Gale of Darkness games. There's some pretty bomb ones. However, I'm probably going to choose Mega Metagross. Because just look at him. It's awesome. Legendary, though. Right. It's Rayquaza. I feel like I don't even really have to, like, question that much. Like, it's Rayquaza. Don't get me wrong, Kyogre and Groudon are cool. 100%. However, Rayquaza, like, Emerald is the best game from Gen 3. Eat me. Rayquaza is just so cool. The story is so good. But now we're here to my favorite of Gen 3. This one honestly is difficult. It is very difficult for me because I love these all very much so. However, I don't know. So it's probably Swampert is my favorite starter, right? Breloom is fantastic, but I love Metagross. I love Rayquaza. My favorite Gen 3 Pokemon, though, honestly, is probably Breloom. I know that might be slightly a hot take for some people to do, but I love Breloom. He's so adorable. He's so useful. I love it. But as I said before, this is where we're going to end part 1 of 3 of my favorite Pokemon Gen 1 through 9. I do hope that whoever actually sat here to watch the 25-minute long video enjoyed what they watched. I hope that they will come back, maybe like, leave a comment, maybe even give a subscribe, you know? No pressure though. Let me know what your guys' favorite Pokemon though from each generation are. Let me in a little bit of an insight for me. And I hope that I will see you guys in the next one. Peace.